Caring deeply feels like the right thing to do. It feels human, it feels noble. You're taught that empathy is strength, that loyalty is rare, that giving without expecting anything back makes you a good person. And for a long time it even feels rewarding. You feel useful, needed, respected. But what if caring too much isn't strength at all? What if it's quietly costing you opportunities, draining your energy, and positioning you as someone to be used rather than valued? This is the uncomfortable truth many people discover too late. Caring more doesn't mean you win more. Sometimes it means you lose without even realizing it. He was the kind of person everyone trusted, the one who showed up early and stayed late, the one who listened when others spoke, who helped without being asked, who carried emotional weight that wasn't his to carry. Friends leaned on him, colleagues relied on him, family expected him, and he gave freely. He believed life worked on balance, that effort would be returned with effort, that loyalty would be met with loyalty, that support would eventually come back around. Caring wasn't a strategy to him, it was an identity. At first it felt good. People praised his reliability. They called him kind, dependable, solid. He became the safe option, the backup plan, the emotional anchor in every room. But slowly, something shifted. People stopped asking how he was doing. Gratitude turned into expectation. Requests came without apology. His time, energy, and ideas were treated like unlimited resources. And when he needed support, real support, it wasn't there. The more he gave, the less he received. And that's when the confusion began. How could doing the right thing feel so wrong? The breaking point didn't come from a dramatic betrayal. It came quietly, during a professional collaboration he had invested everything into. He worked longer hours than anyone else. He shared knowledge without hesitation. He helped others solve problems that weren't even his responsibility. When the project succeeded, the praise went elsewhere. Names were mentioned, doors opened. Opportunities followed, just not for him. He told himself it didn't matter. That recognition wasn't why he cared. That helping was its own reward. But deep down, resentment grew, not because he wanted applause, but because he felt invisible. That same pattern repeated itself everywhere. In friendships, he was the listener, not the priority. In family, he was the responsible one, not the supported one. In work, he was reliable, but never promoted. Exhaustion set in. He began to notice something uncomfortable. The people who thrived weren't the most caring. They were the most aware. They set boundaries. They chose when to engage and when to step back. They didn't explain themselves endlessly. They didn't give everything up front. Meanwhile, his empathy had blinded him. He ignored red flags because he understood people too well. He justified disrespect because he saw potential. He tolerated imbalance because he feared being seen as selfish. Psychologically, he was operating from vulnerability, not strength. People aren't naturally drawn to endless giving. They're drawn to value, confidence, and boundaries. And when empathy isn't protected, it becomes exploitable. That realization changed everything. Excessive care, he learned, isn't virtue. It's exposure. Human psychology doesn't reward unconditional devotion. It rewards balance, reciprocity, power dynamics that feel fair. When you give too much without limits, you signal that your time, energy, and presence have low cost, and people treat low-cost resources accordingly. Strategic empathy doesn't mean being cold, it means being selective. It means understanding that care is currency, and currency only works when it's valued. The people who succeed don't lack empathy, they regulate it. They know when to help and when to step back, when to listen and when to protect their silence, when to give and when to wait. Unchecked care leads to burnout. Measured care builds influence. Once he understood this, he stopped over-explaining. He stopped rescuing people from consequences they needed to face. He stopped proving his worth through exhaustion. And something surprising happened. People began to respect his time. Not everyone stayed, but the right ones did. The lesson wasn't to stop caring. It was to care intelligently. Empathy without awareness is a liability. Empathy with boundaries is power. Caring becomes dangerous when it replaces self-respect. When it becomes a way to earn validation instead of a conscious choice. When it costs you peace, progress, and identity. True strength lies in knowing when your care is deserved and when it's being consumed. When you choose where your energy goes, relationships become sustainable. Work becomes fulfilling, and your presence regains weight. He didn't lose his humanity, he protected it. By caring less recklessly, he began living more fully. His support became intentional, not automatic. His kindness became valuable, not expected. Life didn't reward him for caring blindly. It rewarded him for caring wisely. And that's the truth most people never hear. You don't lose by caring. You lose by caring too much without boundaries.